Hey there, YouTube. So, I'm making this video in response to the Black Lives Matter and the All Lives Matter movements. I, uh, I've seen there's a lot of videos online and memes and posts on the Facebook and stuff. And I kind of just wanted to throw my 2 cents in there, kind of say how I feel. I realize that there's a ton of videos and everybody's talking about what everyone's talking about, so my voice will probably get lost in the rhetoric and the echo of the voices, but here goes anyway. Um, on the face of it, I believe in both movements. I believe that the ideals behind the Black Lives Matter movement is a valid point, and that we need to stop treating black people like secondhand citizens. There's a serious inequality in the justice system and the criminal justice system. I said justice twice. Um, you know, we're sweeping black deaths under the rug and we're over publicizing black crimes. Not to say crimes shouldn't be publicized or that deaths should be plastered on the wall every time something happens, but there's a serious difference between the way the media covers white people and their deaths and crimes and black people and their deaths and crimes. And so that inequality needs to be addressed. So the Black Lives Matter movement, um, at its core, seems to have popped up in the ideal that, hey, let's look at the situation and solve this problem. My problem is not with the ideals behind the Black Lives Matter movement so much as the result. So while it may have started as something that was aimed at, you know, bringing light to the injustice or inequality between the two communities, and getting some sort of attention on that so we can fix the problem, it has instead turned into a racially motivated segregating power that's turned us into two communities that are against each other. And so people are creating, groups and rallies of people who are, having hate speech and saying stuff like, we need to show the white people, you know, let them feel our pain or kill those who are killing us. Um, Killing people is wrong. Even if someone killed someone you shouldn't kill them back. They should be brought to justice. I'm not saying that's not a thing, but getting revenge on someone isn't going to bring your loved ones back. It's just going to cause more pain, And I'm not saying that that means that the black community needs to lie down and just let themselves be killed, and the solution would be for them to just be quiet and let it happen. That's definitely not what I'm saying, you know. Um, but what I'm saying is we as a community, we as a country need to come together and find a solution to these problems that isn't rooted in hate and violence. And so there are serious issues with this country, some of them racially motivated, which is, a travesty. But, revenge killings and rallies where you scream hate and obscenities at people or interrupt presidential debates, or try to get a bunch of publicity, negative or positive, as long as you get publicity. Those aren't the right answers. Those are creating a divide in our country that is not what the solution is. We need to find a solution, not just point out that something's wrong. We need to come together and figure out how we're going to fix it. So the obvious response to that is the All Lives Matter movement, which on the face of it seems like a good idea too. The idea that, hey, let's not make this a race thing, let's make it an everybody thing. That's not to say that race wasn't the instigator of the situation, um, but let's go ahead and say, instead of saying Black Lives Matter, let's say All Lives Matter. Let's say that we need to address this situation. We have a problem in our country, and it's everyone's problem, and we need to figure out, what we're doing about it and how we're going to fix it. Not just because Black Lives Matter, but because all lives matter. And let's address the inequality in our system, because we don't want to be a people who have one standard for black people and one standard for other people, or one standard for Chinese people and one standard for Mexican people. Let's just have one standard for everybody, and let's treat everyone the same. And on the face of that, it sounds like a great idea. The problem is the movement, just like the Black Lives Matter movement is not following what its ideals are. The All Lives Matter movement is not all people who believe, we need to solve the problem and address the inequality. Uh, it's a campground for people who are hiding behind the label so they can continue their hate speech and minimalize the culture of black lives and make it seem like the black people are just causing a ruckus and trying to make a big scene when, it's a legitimate concern. Black lives do matter. Um, they don't matter more than any other life, and they don't matter any less than any other life. So all lives do matter. But to create a movement that goes specifically against the Black Lives Matter movement is, create an alternative camp for people. So then people choose the Black Lives Matter camp or the All Lives Matter camp, which means if you're in the All Lives Matter camp, you're not in the Black Lives Matter camp. So you're basically against black people, and that's not what people are. I don't think that's what people want. It's just the byproduct of the groupings. And so by allowing people to create a campaign and joining it and adding your voice to their voice or your credibility to their voice, you empower them to speak for you. And I think everyone should just speak for themselves. Um, I think inequality is bad, and I think as a country we need to come together and fix these problems that we have. They're serious problems. But I don't believe the answer is creating a movement and a rally and killing people or rioting or, screaming obscenities or, boycotting things. I think those things are fear and hate responses, and those are not the things that are going to get us through this. If we're going to come together as a country, we need to focus on things that bring us together as a group. I think we need to get away from the movements that we've created and focus more on coming up with solutions to problems. What can we do? Let's brainstorm about the things that we can do to fix the inequality, not, get revenge and, show them how we feel. I don't think there's a bunch of people running around who think that it's not a big deal when a black person dies because they're black. Don't get me wrong. There's lots of racist people out there that do believe that, but I don't think that going out and killing a bunch of white people is going to change the racist people, or it's going to bring to light the non-racist people that Black Lives Matter. We don't know. We're not ignorant to it. We know Black Lives Matter. Um, And conversely, I don't think any of us are stupid enough to follow the All Lives Matter movement saying that, let's not give validity to the Black Lives Matter movement. I think most of us recognize that there's a serious issue and we need to address it. Um, but I think we need to get away from the camps and just fix the problem, instead of causing rallies and screaming and yelling and killing people about it.